Hey folks, this is Bob here at Serenity Hill. We'll see how attentive you guys are. If you notice anything different, yeah, I'll give you a hint. I About a month or so ago, when I went to the VA, they did some checking on my eyes, and I got a little blurry spot in my eyes from where I had my cataract surgery. Gosh, 20 years ago, something like that. At any rate, they recommended glasses for me, and boy, I tell you what, they make a difference. Things are a whole lot sharper now. I can read roadsides again. So I'm wearing glasses, and then at the end of this month, I've got a little laser procedure to get rid of some scar tissue I've got behind the lenses in my eyes that is causing some weird kind of dark and blurry spots. So that's going to be kind of cool. Get those gone. So now I'll have the vision of a young man again, and it's kind of like deja vu. I wore glasses for 40 years until I had my cataract surgery, and then I didn't wear glasses, and now here I am getting older, and I'm back in glasses again. So I'm actually at Serenity Hill today. In fact, for most of this week, I'll be at Serenity Hill. I've been the past couple weeks, I've been spending most of my time away, working on a job for a client, doing some home renovation type work. And so things have kind of gotten out of hand around here. But I'm getting ready to go do some work in the garden. I've also, you see behind me that mess, that pile. One of the things I'm going to be doing this week, I'm waiting for a door and a couple other parts to come in, so I can get back to work out at the client's house. So in the meantime, I'm going to be busy taking that pile of pressure treated lumber and getting back to putting underpinning under the house, getting ready for winter. It's not too far away, and tomorrow morning when it's cool, why, I'll get out here and I'll cut the grass and get rid of some overgrowth and the like. Try to make the place look a little better, get things a little more under control. Right now I'm on my way out to the garden. I've got some, I can tell I'm going to have to put some water on it. My squash are starting to look a little wilty. It's hot. It's going to be hot this whole week with no rain. And we got just a little bit of rain, but not enough to really do anything. And it could be that this particular squash plant's about played out. You see that one there is kind of wilted. But and if it is, I'll just plant me a new one. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going through here. I've got some yellow squash and some gray zucchini that are about done. And over in the main part in the other bed, I've got some zucchini that are ready. I've got a few tomatoes that are ready, and my tomato plants have pretty much played out. So I'm going to cut them out and plant some new ones. My green beans over here. Well, I got to step over this one squash plant. So let me harvest this squash, and then I'll go over to the green beans. Yeah, that squash plant, it's about done. It's got a couple little squash on it, but they're a hard, yellow squash with a hard skin. I don't think I'll plant that variety, so I don't like them that much, because I have to peel them. But you see, there's the gate, and there's the bed, and one of my squash vines has escaped and is grown way out here, and it's the yellow squash with a soft skin that I really like. And I got this one's got several more squash on it that are wanting to get a little bigger before they get picked. And I got some peppers that are doing something. And these squash plants they've just grown absolutely crazy on me. Got lots of flowers. Got some weird squash. So, and We had a bad storm come through, and it blew my tomato cages over and some of my tomato plants, and the hornworms have got to them. And I've got one plant that's got a couple buds on it. I got a Dr. Witch's yellow that's ready to come out, and the rest of them are pretty much done. So I'm going to cut this mess all out and plant some new ones. And look at that zucchini. It's grown so much that it's trying to take over my peppers. But I've got lots of ancho or poblano peppers on those plants, so they're doing well. My pole beans, man, they're growing like crazy. Look how thick and luxurious they are. But they're just not, got lots of flowers on them, but not getting many beans. And then my bush beans. These things are they're about done. I'm gonna pick the last of the beans off them today and cut these plants out, throw them on the mulch pile, and plant some more and get another harvest of them. And my okra, that's pretty. My okra is doing well. Goodness, I was out here Saturday and harvested a bunch of okra, and I'm looking out here, and I've got enough. I got to harvest okra again today. I mean, these things just keep growing, and still going to have lots of okra coming up on all of those. You can see the clusters at the top growing up. So yeah, plenty of okra, and more peppers, and some that are putting on well. These you see down here, they got the yellow peppers on them. Those are supposed to be purple giant bell peppers, and they look like some kind of yellow banana pepper. So I don't know what I got there, but they weren't what was on the packet label, that's for sure. And again, like I said, I got lots of blooms coming up on my green beans, my pole beans, but I'm just not getting very many beans off of them. And you would think with all these blossoms, hopefully I'll end up getting beans out of those. So I'm kind of puzzled on that. So if anybody's got any suggestions, I'm sure open to it. But the bush beans have really done well for me, and I will definitely, I'm going to replant this variety. I've gotten probably a dozen meals worth of beans off this little batch of bush beans. So, and they're about played out, so I'm going to cut them out and plant some new ones. As much as it hurts, I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and cut these out. I was thinking about pulling them out, and I thought, you know, I'll just leave the roots in and I'll cut the plants off. And hopefully that'll work okay. And found another little bean. This one's got a few blossoms on it, but there's just not enough that I'm going to get much out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. I'll leave the roots there. I got these neat little clippers. They got this little lock on it, but it's always falling down and getting in my way. And I'll take those and put on my compost pile. And the length of our growing season, I will have enough time to get another batch of, you know, another crop of green beans out of it. So that'll be cool. I'll get some fall green beans before the frost hits. And that's one of the benefits of being in our particular growing area. Found a few more beans. This just seems so odd to be cutting plants out while they're still got green on them, but they're just, when they first started bearing, I could come out here and I could get enough for a meal for 3 of us. off of them. And here lately they're getting to where it takes the last couple of weeks it'll take 2 pickings to get a meal. So I decided it's time to pull them out. When I plant these, these are a stringless bush snap green bean. These are Burpee Organics. I buy most of my seeds from M.I. Gardner, but that one's bad. But I bought these from Burpee Organic, got them from the big box store. And one of the things that the guy from M.I. Gardner suggested, and I did this with my green beans and it worked out real well, is he suggested planting closer. So I've been planting these about 3 or 4 inches apart and letting them and not thinning them out, because it says to thin them out to 6 inches. And what I found is this: I mean, there are 0 weeds in here. There are leaves that fell off the green bean plants, and I'll leave those there to decay, provide a little cover. But the beauty of it is there's no weeds because the green beans were so thick that they shaded them out, and I got a good harvest off of them. So I'm gonna do that again and just plant as many as I can with what I've got to get me another harvest of green beans. And green beans to me are a very well, we love green beans, but they're a very gratifying thing to plant, because you know some stuff takes a couple weeks to germinate, and these green beans, they'll be germinating, and I'll have new baby green bean plants coming up by the end of a week, which is pretty cool. So, and I used to I started a thing. I used to poke them down in the ground when I buried them, but then when I go to my hand to get more, I couldn't remember where I had put the last one. So I'm just setting these on top of the ground for right now, and then I'll come back through and push them down and have me some more green beans. Yeah, soil's pretty dry. It's really soaking it up fast. I'm going to try something different with staking my tomatoes this time. I use tomato cages, and these are an indeterminate. The varieties that I picked this year are indeterminate, so they continue to grow. The cages are only 4 foot tall, and so they grow way past them, and they just overwhelm those little tomato cages. So I think what I'm going to do is I've got a bunch of rough cut 2x4s. When I demolished my old solar kiln, and I kept some of those rough cut 2x4s that I used to make it, the ones that were still good, and I'm going to use some of those and basically make me an arbor out of them. I use some paracord between. I just make a framework on either side and across the top, and then run some paracord between the uprights and drop some jute string down from that, and I'll use that to support them. And that way it'll be about 10 foot tall, which will place it about 8.5 feet above where the plants are in the bed. So hopefully that'll provide me a little better support, a little more ease. And I'm also not going to plant them as thick. I had my tomatoes a little close together, and boy, it made it about impossible to get to them to do anything. And I've got some Roma tomatoes that I started in the house, and I'll transfer those out. In the meantime, I've got some Dr. Witchy's yellow. I'm going to plant them. And somewhere I've got some Paul Robeson seeds, but I can't find them, and was going to plant another one or two of those. So don't know if you can make it out, but there's one of my gray zucchini down there. And I've got a tomato plant that's got a couple green tomatoes on it. I think I might leave that one, but I'll definitely cut out this Dr. Witchy's that has seen the end of its days. Yeah, this one's still got a few tomatoes on it. But no new buds. No new flowers. So I think it'll come out. But I will have to say one advantage of planting them close is I don't have any weeds in there. You know, this hurts my heart in a way to do this, but got to make way for new stuff. It looks kind of bare without all my tomato plants here, but we'll start over and see what we can get before the frost comes. Whew. All right, well, I got another tomato planted. I think tonight, as it gets a little cooler, I'm going to bring my I got some striped Romas. They're about 4 or 5 inches tall. I'll bring those out, give them a good watering, put them out here when it's a little cooler. And yeah, I'm gonna call it a day on the garden. It's hot out here. Time to go clear stuff out of the way so I can start on my underpinning. I gotta go get me something cold to drink. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed our little garden refresh. Hope it all works out. We've been enjoying the produce we're getting from it so far. Whew. I washed the sweat out of my eyes, give you something cold to drink and cool down, and wash the dirt off my face. At least you know I've been in the garden, right? Don't be afraid to get out there and do something you've never done before. It may not go just right. Do something different the next time. This is Bob at Sorrento Hill. Thanking you for stopping by, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.